Hello everyone, this is Keith Jackson and welcome to Jack's Math Notebook. In this video, we're going to continue our understanding of the order of operations. Do you remember the term PEMDAS? Well, today we're going to use GEMDAS, and you're probably saying, well, why did you move me from PEMDAS to GEMDAS? Because see, the G in this case stands for grouping symbols, which is a much more comprehensive term, meaning that it also includes brackets as well as parentheses. And so the G in this case will replace the P in PEMDAS, but we're going to call it now GEMDAS. And so let us move on to the next part, the exponents, as you see right here, that is capitalized or made larger than the other letters. And as you can see right here in this example, we have 3 raised to the 4th power, which simply means 3 times 3 times 3 times 3, which is 81. All right, that is the second part of the order of operations. So GEMDAS first, or I should say grouping symbols first, and then exponents second, and then we're going to move on to multiplication and division, or division and multiplication, whichever comes first as we go from left to right when solving an order of operations problem. And then finally, the last part of the operations would be adding and subtracting. Again, we either add or subtract or add, depending on what comes first, going from left to right. But let's take a look at our 3 big examples to help us understand the grouping symbols. So today we're only going to work on the grouping symbols. We're only going to work on parentheses in this case because that's what's going to have to be done first in a problem such as these right here. So let's take a look at big example 1, big example 2, and big example 3, and let us go back to big example 1, in which we have inside our parentheses, right, the quantity of 58 plus 14. Okay, we have to work that out first before we do our division because, as you can see, parentheses go before multiplication or division. And so let's work that out. So 58 plus 14 will give us 72. Now we can divide going from left to right. And so we have 72 divided by 8 will give us 9, as you see right here. And let's move on to the big example 2, in which we have again 20 times a quantity within the parentheses of 15 minus 10. Right here, we're going to have to work out what's inside the parentheses first before we do anything else, because parentheses, we have to work out what's inside the parentheses first before we do the multiplication, as you see right here. Parentheses before multiplication, right? And so we know that 15 minus 10 will give us 5. And so we know that 20 times 5 going from left to right will give us 100, as you see right here is our answer. And then finally, for big example 3, okay, well, guess what? We have 2 sets of parentheses right here. Well, which one do we do first? Well, the safe way to go about solving a problem such as this is to go from left to right. So let's do the parentheses on the left-hand side of this equation first, and then we'll do the parentheses on the right-hand side of the equation second. And so we have 16 plus 2 right here. That will give us 18. And then, we can't do anything else until we solve what's inside the parentheses right here first. 2 plus 4 will give us 6. So now we can go from left to right. And 18 divided by 6 will give us 3. Okay, you have been given some significant information as relates to the grouping symbols in this particular video. And I wouldn't blame you if you need to pause this video to take a look at these 3 big examples, or replay this video as many times as you need to gain a deeper understanding of GEMDAS. Okay. All right, with that in mind, please comment, share, like, and subscribe to Jack's Math Notebook for more content. Thank you, and goodbye.